everyone, today I wanted to share with you the new Succulent Garden Suite, and I wanted to share how to get a really authentic look with your succulent flowers. I have been studying this catalogue and I realised that there are a couple of little techniques that make it quite easy to create really authentic looking paper succulents like this one. And when you put them in a pot like that, they actually look real. It's amazing. Here's a couple of others that I've done, not quite the same, but you'll see that these have shading in different colours. The great thing about succulents is that you can do them in any colour, and succulents really do come in every colour under the rainbow. So you'll be able to create your own versions of these in different colours as you play with this stamp set and the matching framelits. You will need some sponge daubers, and you'll also notice that I've used the sprinkles embellishments in the middle of these flowers, so they actually coordinate beautifully with the papers in the Succulent Garden Suite. Let me show you a card which uses the papers. I'll just bring that in, and you can also see how I've used the sprinkles embellishments in the middle of the flower and scattered around on the paper itself. Yeah, just gorgeous. So here's how I make one of my succulent flowers. I'm going to bring my Big Shot in and I will show you how I cut those. The great thing about using your Big Shot platform is that you can actually get a whole succulent plant or flower, whatever you like to call them, out of 1/4 of a sheet of A4 cardstock. So I've actually placed my my dies on there, and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot, and that will cut them all out at once. This just makes it really quick and easy for you to create lots of flowers. So if you want to actually do a couple of projects, you can. It's not going to take you too long to cut a couple of flowers out each time you go. You could even put your you could even put your papers that way, your cardstock that way, and you could get 2 out of 1 revolution of the Big Shot. Okay, so let me just put the Big Shot to the side. I've used my precision plate mainly because these dies are actually quite detailed, and it makes it easier for you to get them out of the dies. I will grab my my die brush, my Big Shot die brush, and place it on the foam mat, and this just makes it a lot easier for you to get the cardstock out of the dies. So I'll show you what I mean. Basically, more or less the cardstock comes right out of the dies there. If you need a little bit of help getting it out, you can use your paper piercer. I might just use it for this one. But most of the time you'll find that all of the 6 flowers come out cleanly, just like that. So super quick and easy. Love the Big Shot die brush. Make sure you grab one of those if you've got really intricate dies, and you can use that with any of those dies. Okay, so here are my 6 flowers. You'll find that each succulent plant that I've shown you will use the 6 flower shapes to create 1 flower or 1 plant. So they come out like this, and they're fairly flat and nondescript. You could actually use them for flowers if you wanted to, depending on what colours you were punching them out in, what colour cardstock. What I've done over here is I've actually cut a couple, and I've already done the colouring. So let me bring these in. I've done the stamping on them. Let me bring these in, and I'll show you how I do the stamping on the 2 different size flowers. You'll notice in the stamp set, let me grab that for you, there are quite a few flowers. Obviously there's some beautiful greetings, but there's also these 2 little stamps that look a little bit like jelly beans, and one of them's larger than the other one, and they are actually for shading your flowers. I like to use, as I said, lots of different colours, but one of the colours one of the inks I'd like to use on my flowers, on my succulents, is the Whisper White, and that gives some really, really nice sort of shading effect. On this larger flower, this is the largest flower of the dies, I'm actually going to be stamping in the larger of the jelly bean stamps. Let's call it the jelly bean stamp. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see the shape of it. And then on the smaller ones, so from the medium size down to the smaller ones, I'm actually going to use this little one. If you don't re-ink in between, it's actually a lot quicker, and you can stamp a couple of the petals each time, and you'll find that putting your flower together is a lot easier. Okay, so that's the Whisper White. Now what I'm going to do is put all these flowers together. You'll notice with these ones that I've already stamped, they're actually concave a little bit. See how the petals sort of fold up a little bit, and they've got a bit of dimension to them. Let me show you how I did that. I've used my bone folder, and because your bone folder is nice and soft and rounded, it won't tear the petals. And if you're really careful, just to hold the bone folder like this and just roll it between your thumb and the bone folder itself, you'll find that it curls the petals on each of the flowers without pulling them off and without damaging them. So you get a lovely rounded shape. So here's one of the smaller ones. You do the same thing. Just roll it between the thumb and the edge of that bone folder there, and you'll get a lovely shape to your succulent. Okay, so this is the order that they go in. I'm going to put them together with glue dots now, and I find it's actually easier to put them together with the glue dots before you do the shading. It's just a lot less fiddly, and you'll see what I mean. So rather than trying to shade each of these little tiny petals, if you put the whole flower together, because we've done the shaping beforehand, it actually makes it a lot easier to do the shading and the sponging using the sponge daubers. So I'm just putting one glue dot in between each flower. That's all you need. You know that glue dots are super strong. They even hold buttons and ribbons and much heavier embellishments together than these. But they're perfect because there's no drying time, no mess, and you can put your flowers together that easily and quickly. Okay, so there it is, all together. Now how I created this this sponge look, you can see how that adds so much more dimension and authenticity to the succulent itself. I've used one of these sponge daubers, and I'm going to get the Cherry Cobbler ink pad and open that out. And with the flower all together, I'm actually just going to go around the very edge. So just grabbing those petals that are on the outer edge, maybe two to three layers in, like that. So you've actually got the shading around the edge, and then I'm going to get a little bit more ink on, and then I'm just going to flick it across the middle. And because those petals are bent upwards, they're only going to grab the ink on the very edges of the petals or the leaves of the succulent. So you can see how much quicker that is, rather than trying to do each little flower like this individually. It saves you a lot of time, especially if you're going to be making lots of these, which I'm sure you are, because they're heaps of fun. Now to add a little bit of bling, I said I've used a few of these embellishments that I'm going to get, the sprinkles embellishments. And how I put them on, I've actually used a toothpick and just a tiny bit of the Tombow glue in a little container, just on the very end of my very end of my toothpick, and I'm just going to apply a tiny bit to the flower itself, like that. And then with the dry end, the end that doesn't have the glue, I'm going to pick up a couple of these embellishments. So you can put any colours that you like. There's a little bit of a mixture of them here. They do coordinate really well with these papers, and they just add a tiny bit of bling to your projects and make them look rather gorgeous. So there you go. There's some of those sprinkles embellishments in the middle, giving him a little bit of a sparkle. And then I've just bought this pot from Kmart, my local gift department in Kmart, and I've stuffed it with some of our packing paper from Stampin' Up. This is what all our orders are packed in. So I've shredded that, and what you can do is you can just put a couple in, or you can put several in and create your very own succulent garden. Just a little tiny bit of glue on the bottom there will allow it to stick to the paper. I made one of these for my mum for her birthday, and I called it the no maintenance plant. So she doesn't even have to remember to water it or anything like that. And yeah, they look quite real once you've got them all in there, and they're all beautifully shaded like that. They look very authentic. So I hope you have enjoyed seeing how I do my succulents. Have a look on my website and my blog, and make sure you check out my online store. You can get this whole suite, including the beautiful papers and some matching ribbons, in my online store. You can browse and shop 24/7 at www.vanessawebb.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. Bye.